But like you said, you're like, I'm getting chills.
I
I was
got
like, me too.
I had to hold back tears. I want to go buy a shirt. Because more concert. Where's the next concert?
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I am Daniel.
I'm Summer.
Abigail.
Gabe.
And today we are finally checking out one of the BTS videos, like their introduction videos that have been recommended for a long time. We had been, as we said in some of our earlier videos, we were holding off on this a little bit because we wanted to learn about BTS kind of organically through their music, how we would naturally, how we just kind of discover them. But as we've watched quite a few songs, and so we're kind of getting a little bit of an idea of what they kind of have to offer. So now we want to check out one of these videos. So a couple of them were recommended. We're doing one by xCeleste, I guess is how you say it. So we'll react to that one. I know that one thing we were kind of cautious of a little bit, I think the Taylor video, the one by Taylor, which is another one that was recommended, shows a lot of clips, a lot of their songs. So we do want to get to that one, and we're excited about that one. We're doing this one first because, to my understanding, from the comments at least, this shows less of like snippets of other songs that we may react to in the future. And so for that reason, we're doing this one first, and then kind of get an idea, maybe to help us out, learn some of the names a little bit better, and attach like a talent to a name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other inputs?
I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah? Okay. Let's go right into it then, I guess.
Yeah, let's just go right into it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Is that real?
That's
Wow,
a stadium.
That's real.
How many of you have heard of BTS?
Who is BTS and why are they so popular? BTS is a 7-member group from South Korea. While the words boy band are often associated with the image of screaming teen girls, that is far from reality. First, there's nothing wrong with being a young person showing love for something you enjoy. But what if I told you about 24% are in their 20s, 28% are in their 30s, and 21%
You see that,
are
Abby?
in their 40s.
Sorry.
Take a closer look
believe
at
it.
this age and gender demographic for BTS's 2020 Map of the Sold ticket sales. Females ages 25 and up made 46% of web traffic, and 31% were males.
Is that you,
BTS's
Gabriel?
fans, named ARMY, will often tell you BTS is not your typical boy band. And why? To get a better understanding, let us go back to the beginning. BTS was created by Big Hit Entertainment, whose mission statement is music and artist for healing.
Real quick. So it's kind of strange to see them. I've just realized I've never seen them not singing or dancing.
I know.
It just showed them just standing there, like just regular people.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know,
was
it's just
like,
kind of
oh,
bizarre.
Wow, they're so cute.
Like, oh.
I was like, they're dressed so nice and look
Yeah,
so nice.
usually it's like different crazy hairstyles and like
Yeah.
dance moves and singing. Now it's just like, oh, we're just people hanging
they're
out.
actually people. Yeah.
The company, and namely their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, wanted BTS to be sincere and genuine figures that people could easily relate to and grow with. Not immaculate idols groomed amid studio culture, but real boys who shared their authentic personalities and talents with the world.
That's different.
Which
That's
is
good.
why BTS stands for Bangtanso년단, Korean for Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Bangtan meaning to be resistant to bullets, so it means to block out stereotypes, criticisms, and expectations that are aimed at adolescents like bullets, to preserve the value and ideals of today's adolescents. In 2017, BTS rebranded their name and logo representing their growth and maturity, extending the meaning to beyond the scene. The new door-inspired logo symbolizes youth
You said behind
who
the
don't
scenes.
settle for their current reality and instead open the door and go forward to achieve growth. BTS debuted on June 12, 2013 with 7 members.
Wow, they look
RM,
a lot different,
Jin, Suga,
Suga.
J-Hope, Jimin,
J-Hope,
V,
Jimin.
and Jungkook. All 7 members came from different parts of Korea. So at first, living together in a small apartment was a challenge. Their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, created a method for the boys whenever they got into an argument.
일단 싸워도 된다. 싸움을 두려워하기 때문에 우리 갈등이 커지는 거다라고 가리키고요. 그 다음에 마지막으로는 단 해결은 7이 같이 하는 거다. 싸움은 둘이 해도 해결은 7명이 같이 해라. 하기 너무 창피한 걸로 싸움을 해도 결국 같이 와서 저희가 이런 문제를 갖고 둘이 싸웠는데 이렇게 해서 이렇게 해결했습니다 라고 얘기를 하고, 그런 부분들이 이 팀의 친화력을 혹은 시너지를 강하게 만들고 있지 않나 이렇게 생각됩니다.
Over the years, the boys have come to love each other despite their difference in personalities, to the point where they'd feel incomplete with one member missing.
Deposit, because it'll be hard to remember all these things at the end. So this is super different, like
really got
how they're set up.
goosebumps.
Me
At the
too.
beginning.
I was like, I'm a mom, right? I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
So then I think like, oh, it's so sweet. Just like their mission and what they talk
Like what
about
Big
with
Hit stands for, yeah.
adolescence. And
I like that. So like a lot of bands, you'll see like they break apart after a while, or like one guy will leave, they'll bring someone else in, and it's just kind of, and it's very media driven oriented.
Yes.
It's like whatever they want, they have a
Yeah.
manager. So I like that he lets them do what they want, but they all live together at some point.
Yeah.
So they're almost like brothers. Like
Yeah.
I think you said, or one of y'all said in one of our first videos. So that could be how they stay together so long, and it's been. I
this
think
is gonna be their.
decades.
I was gonna say it's gonna be their 10-year anniversary coming up.
Next
from their
June.
first.
I remember at the beginning,
Yeah, next
I remember thinking, hey, it's been this long. Surely people come in and out of BTS, or has it been like the same guys?
No,
So it
I
looks like
guess
it's been the same guys since
Yeah.
day one.
And that's
Well, that's what
impressive.
he just said.
That's awesome.
It would
Yeah.
they would feel incomplete with one member missing.
Missing, yeah.
Yeah.
When was this video made? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
We can look at that.
I'll look it up at
we'll
the
wait
end.
till-
They became each other's strength and support and formed a brotherhood.
그러니까 내 머릿속에는 옆에 멤버들이 있어야 뭔가 자연스러운, 그러니까 뭔가 내 핸드폰이나 지갑처럼 없으면 불안한 그런 것들 있잖아.
그죠. 소중하다 못해 없으면 안 될 사람들이긴 하죠. 왜냐면은 넘어져도 저 혼자 일어나는 게 아니라
I'm literally getting emotional.
그냥 같이 일어나는 거니까.
It's so
생각을
sweet.
해보면 이런 7명이 어떻게 모였을까라는 생각이 들어요. 이제는 네. 오래 지냈다고 해서 될 문제는 아니에요. 어떻게 보면은 운명인 것 같아요. 네. 되게 유치하지만 그냥 운명이었던 거예요. 이거는. 네.
Their climb to the top may seem sudden to those who didn't follow their journey, but it was far from a walk in the park. BTS's company, Big Hit Entertainment, started off small and faced numerous hardships, even coming close to bankruptcy. Since Big Hit wasn't a large company at that time, they lacked the resources for promoting BTS. Even getting the chance to debut was a fluke. Their debut performance opportunity came about because a music show needed a filler for someone else's spot. Even after they debuted, their performances would often get cut, and if they did make it on air, their screen time was very short since Big Hit didn't have the power or influence bigger companies
really
had
young.
over broadcasts. Since they were often not invited to a lot of big variety shows, the company found their own way to communicate with their audience through platforms such as YouTube. By vlogging their journey, they allowed us to discover their personalities.
Wow,
They also created their own variety shows and often live streamed with fans. They honed their crafts for hours on end, practicing in the dance studio and producing music, returning home at dawn to all sleep in one bedroom.
What?
2 years of hard work and not knowing where they'd end up, they finally won their first music show award. Yet, as they grew in popularity, they were falsely accused of sajeki, which is when a company buys their own artist albums to boost sales for the charts.
Wow.
That's because people couldn't believe a group from a small company was selling well, ignoring the fact that a small company wouldn't have the resources to pull off such a
Right.
scam. These were just a few of their hardships and struggles. I created a separate video highlighting their past hardships. I'll link that in my description box.
Oh, really, Crown?
Throughout the years, BTS were able to
They were on
reach
time.
impressive milestones while continuing to sing in Korean. They shattered cultural language barriers with music and attracted an international audience. They grew organically by staying true to themselves while building a genuine connection with their fans from around the world. During an era where streaming numbers have gone up and traditional album sales have gone down, BTS has become an industry anomaly. Their latest album, Map of the Soul 7, released February 21, 2020, is the best-selling physical album of the year. and they sold over 500,000 copies in just the United States alone. The biggest kicker? Well, BTS did this without a single bundle. And what does bundle mean? Artists would bundle merchandise or concert tickets with the album's sales. For example, a copy of an artist's album, digital or physical, would be included in every t-shirt sale or ticket sold for their concert.
It's like a way to boost it.
These sales would count towards charting numbers and become an industry-wide tactic in the US to help boost sales figures and in effect climb up the Billboard charts. In a 2019 New York Times article, they said about half the 39 titles that topped the charts last year were sold as part of ticket or merchandise bundles. Without the help of bundles and driven by the power of ARMYs alone, BTS were able to beat a lot of historic records, such as Michael Jackson's 36-year record and the Beatles' 22-year record. While these musical acts are famous around the world, Suga has said it's a great honor to be called the Beatles of the 21st century. At the same time, it's a bit pressuring to be called that. We are BTS. We want to be the BTS of the 21st century.
He's one of
The
rappers,
members
I think.
themselves have always been involved in their music and engaged with their fans, even before they officially debuted. From their debut album, Too Cool for School, in 2013 to their most recent Map of the Soul 7, all 7 members have contributed as either writers and or producers on every album. All of BTS are associate members of the Korea Music Copyright Association. And as of August 2020, J-Hope, Suga, and RM were all promoted to full members of the association. They even create music that's released for free on SoundCloud as gifts to their fans. Much of their work touches on subjects like mental health, youth and female empowerment, child abuse, cyberbullying, self-love and development, and socio-economic injustices. Much of their work is also inspired by past writers and thinkers. Their latest series, Map of the Soul, incorporates psychological concepts by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. BTS is not afraid to use their platform to amplify underrepresented voices and issues, taking numerous risks with their career while receiving backlash from people in power. BTS are also as charitable as they are talented. Throughout the years, members have been donating individually and as a group. BTS rarely publicize donations, so fans often find out about them if media organizations uncover the details. One of BTS's few public announcements was in November 2017 for their Love Myself campaign. They partnered with UNICEF to create a campaign aimed at protecting children and teenagers from around the world, with the hope of making the world a better place through music. BTS and their company, Big Hit Entertainment, pledged 500 million Korean won and donated 3% of the income from the sales of physical albums of the Love Yourself series, along with 6 other fundraising initiatives, including the Love Myself merchandise, where 100% of its proceeds were pledged to the cause. The Love Yourself series, which contained 3 albums total, sold over 7 million copies worldwide. On September 24, 2018, BTS was invited to deliver a speech about the Love Myself campaign at the United Nations General Assembly. On January 15, 2020, Formula E announced their partnership with BTS to help combat climate change. On June 3, 2020, BTS tweeted their support for Black Lives Matter. A few days later, Variety reported that BTS and Big Hit Entertainment had donated $1 million to support the Black Lives Matter movement. When ARMYs got wind of the news, they matched their $1 million donation in one day. Now, these are just a couple of their acts of charity. With their socially conscious music, BTS created a new fandom culture that brings together fans from different national and racial identities. This led to the emergence of bilingual ARMY volunteers who translated BTS Korean lyrics and videos in their language almost real time, making the content immediately available to non-Korean speakers. We may all speak different languages, but their music and their message connected people from around the world with different ethnicities, background, gender, and age. BTS has also expressed their love and respect for ARMY countless of times, such as always mentioning them first during speeches, responding to fans on their social media app Weverse, showing their appreciation for ARMY projects, halting rehearsals for the Muslim prayers in Saudi Arabia. The youngest member, Jungkook, even got the fandom name tattooed on his hand.
Wow.
Together with ARMY, they grew as individuals and as artists.
저는 굳이 영향력을 주는 거창한 것을 안 원하고 그냥 저희를 보는 분들이 행복하고 웃을 수 있다면 그걸로.
팬이란 게 진짜 뭘까 막 이런 생각을 가끔 많이 하거든요. 결국 그 사람들 때문에 저희가 무대에 서는 거라서 그 봐주는 사람들을 위해서 노래를 하고 무대를 하는 거기 때문에 결국 우리는 그 사람들한테 진짜 감사해야 되고 무대 하나하나에 최선을 다해야 되고.
간단하게 얘기해서는 가수를 하고 있는 어떤 제일 중요한 이유인 것 같아요. 저는 뭐 방송 활동도 물론 쉽지 않지만 진짜 콘서트는 그냥 제가 이 방탄소년단을 하고 있는 이유가 맞는 것 같아요.
The lights. It must be those little things that
다행히도 내가 원래 하고 싶었던 메시지, 하고 싶었던 음악들을 하고 있어서 참 다행이라고 생각을 해요. 그러기 때문에 되게 그렇게 살고 있는 것 같아요. 긍정적인 에너지를 주죠.
일단 이 일을 좋아하는 거, 이 일을 사랑하고 너무 좋아하는 게 저에게 큰 영향을 주는 것 같아요. 왜냐면 이 일을 하기 싫고 실증이 나고 하면은 무대 위에서도 나타나기 때문에 이 일을 굉장히 사랑하기 때문에 내가 무대 위에서 퍼포먼스를 할 수 있고 노래를 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
계속 와서 응원해주는 모습, 그리고 이렇게 저희를 진심으로 좋아해주는 그런 표정들, 힘들 때 그런 표정들이 저에게 더 힘을 주는 것 같아서.
저희를 알아봐 주신 여러분들이라면 여러분의 꿈이 아니더라도 여러분의 삶, 여러분의 인생에 언젠가 저희의 존재가, 저희의 음악이, 저희의 무대가, 저희의 사진, 영상이 여러분한테 아주 조금이라도 아픔이 100이라면 그 100을 99, 98, 97로 만들어줄 수 있다면 그걸로 저희의 존재의 가치는 충분합니다. 정말 사랑합니다.
Their love for ARMY has also helped them decide on re-signing another 7-year contract with Big Hit Entertainment. They mentioned doing it for their fans and not for money. So while people often discredit BTS's talent, likening their popularity to superficial aspects that come with the image of a boy band, it is their development of personalities and sincerity towards their art and their fans that made their fandom the size and reach that it has become. I hope people will come to realize that BTS is more than just their singing and their dancing skills. They're not just performers, but artists who have healed and inspired millions of people around the world. For a deeper dive into BTS, please refer to these websites, apps, and ARMY accounts to stay updated. We're also working on more video projects and a website, so stay tuned.
Wow. That flew. That was already 15 minutes.
That didn't feel like 15 minutes at all.
So the BTS ARMY now makes way more sense.
Yeah. Why they're so passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because I remember reading a comment in one of our earlier videos. It's like, once you go further into the BTS journey, you're going to look back at these videos and laugh at yourself. Kind of like in a funny way. You know, like you're going to laugh at your comment or whatever. And I totally see that now.
Yeah.
So like,
and we're still pretty early in the process.
Yeah.
Very early, I think. But it's what they said at the end is like, we're so used to, because there's been so many boy bands and it kind of, there's an image put on them. So like we know, like I was saying earlier, they have like a specific thing they're trying to put out. It's more for like the fame and money and how big of a show, how many records can you sell. But none of them started off, not that I know of, none of them started off like they did, like super humble beginnings, sleeping in this little room, working, like rehearsing, dancing for hours every day, but there's no money in it. and it's crazy because they still seem like young and innocent and like humble.
Yeah.
Even though they've gotten this big, because like he was saying what he was saying about the 100, I can make it 99, 98, and then it zoomed out and you see like thousands of people.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying that like that's something like you may say if you're like kind of early on, like you're trying to just like build a gathering.
Yes, yeah.
But they're already there, and they're still like.
Yeah.
Trying
But
to
like
hold
you said,
themselves.
you're like, I'm getting chills.
I
I was
got
like, me
goosebumps.
too.
I had to hold back tears. I want to go buy a shirt. Because what concert? Where's the next concert?
Because it really does. I mean, you appreciate, in this day and age, you appreciate authenticity.
Yeah.
And you really feel that from from this 15-minute video, her explaining that, like.
And maintaining it, because it's one thing like you start off one way, then you get famous, and then your whole persona starts to change.
Like it's easy to be corrupted in the industry.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just.
Well, they started off with that being their goal, like for them to be authentically themselves.
But to like stick with that goal
and
throughout this whole time.
that's the way they were
CEO.
kind of raised from the beginning.
Yeah.
From Big Hit, the CEO said like you do you.
Yeah.
It's more respect, because I know people have said like they're musicians and producers and singers and all that stuff, but it literally it meant something different whenever it showed him like on his little chair with a laptop, like
messing
on one of them
Pro
he had the mic
Tools,
like hanging out in
In
his
his
shirt.
shirt,
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he's like leaning over messing with the stuff. Like that's what we do. Like that's how we learn. Like growing
And
up.
you know that's like a grueling thing. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And you don't just like know how to do that. Like it takes a lot
Right,
of
it
time.
takes
and
time to
effort.
learn the
Self-teach.
software and
Yes.
to
come up with
I mean,
ideas.
it's a lot of-
We're always working with new ideas.
Yeah.
And then you make something. You did this a lot in college. Like you make a song, and it's done, and you spend hours on it. But then you just have the song. You're like, well,
what now?
I'll just make the next
Yeah.
song. And it wasn't because you wanted to like get that song and go make millions of dollars off of it. It was
Yeah.
the love of making that song.
You enjoy
So
the
you make
process.
another one.
Yeah.
So seeing them actually like in the process.
Right.
I
That
think-
it meant something different.
Yeah, and three of them are at the point now where they're. I guess they didn't say that they
It said
joined the like
members.
full time
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
company
Full
now,
members.
and they make music for free.
Yeah.
And it's cool. They like really acknowledge their fans. I wonder where the term army, if they coined it or if like
That's true.
it's like a
Well,
group.
I don't know. I'm afraid to say what I think because
I mean, who knows?
someone's gonna correct me. But like army is, you usually think of an army being dedicated to the cause. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Like the initial. It
They're-
makes more sense now because
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you see them as just like a band, like a group of guys who sing,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it's hard to understand the following because like there's so many other
Mm-hmm.
bands that are really good, and you love them for their music, but it kind of stops there. It's more surface level.
Mm-hmm.
Like as people, you don't really know them that well, so it's hard
Yeah.
to say if it's like with them, it's deeper, and obviously a lot of people who are in the army probably follow them from the beginning, so you can imagine how like tight and protective, which makes sense now because some of the comments are like, we're really protective.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's like, okay, I get it. Like if I love something like a band or something, I'll be protective of them, like saying, hey, no, they're really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
There's more to it. Yeah.
It's more about like they're protective of the people as
Yeah,
people,
and what
not
they
of like
represent.
not the music and the
Like
brand.
in the band and the production.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
it changes perspective completely.
Yeah.
Did one guy mention something about working as an actor or?
Well, he said, that's why I don't like doing TV shows, and that caught me off guard because I wonder if one of them used to be an actor because we still don't really know
Like their
their true backstory. Like it
Right.
started off there
Oh, yeah.
together
Yeah.
with Big Hit, but what was their story? Maybe a couple of them were like aspiring actors, and maybe because a lot of people who have that type of talent, like who are dancers, singers, they're in like the entertainment industry in some way, whether it's videos or music. Maybe he was trying that route and then was like, that wasn't really for me.
Yeah.
Like I'd prefer doing music, but like showing them like practicing
Yeah.
in like this little bitty room, and they look super young, but they were already good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're still. I mean, this helped paint a picture, but we're still
Oh, yeah.
obviously like
Still
super
only
surface
scratched
level.
the surface, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was in 2020, and they signed a 7-year contract.
So they got 5 more years.
Yeah.
Man.
2 years ago.
And it's like at this point, how do you slow it down? If they stay true to themselves and like what they're doing, and also like how the production and the quality of their music, like I mean, this could go. I mean, that's the thing. Groups like the Beatles, obviously, like they could have stayed together because like people passed away, but like McCartney is still singing as old as he is.
Yeah.
Like the people like Michael Jackson went all the way until like he was planning a tour the year he died.
Yeah.
And like Elvis, like these greats, they just go and go and go.
Yeah.
Boy bands, like
Usually
in sync.
that doesn't happen.
It's like, okay, y'all are growing beards. You're like, I see a gray hair. We're disbanding. Y'all are done. It's so different, so surface level. These guys could, and they're still super young. So I mean, and they're this big already. When they showed like all the scenes of like the different cities.
Wow.
Like that bird's eye view of the stadium.
Like
with
saw
the lights.
and the English thing came like pretty recently. Like they were singing in Korean the whole time and selling out places like that.
Yeah.
Like imagine going to, and like I know their fans help with like translating everything, content, but when you're there in person, you're just there for like them and the music.
Yeah.
Like lyrics, maybe you know the lyrics by heart at that point. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But like I've never become like a big fan of a band that I have no idea what they're saying. I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's like a new concept.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I'm glad we watched this.
Me too.
Yeah. That was good.
A new level of
a good
respect
level of
and appreciation.
It's like we watch it. Now we got to go back and watch Butter and all those again.
We gotta go rewatch all
with
the
the
videos.
new perspective.
Right? just like with the tear. It's like,
They're like, why are you crying?
How far they've come.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey guys, I really appreciate y'all recommending this one. Wheel's a good one. We enjoyed this one a lot. And I'm sure, I have no doubt you guys will recommend something else that we'll love. So we'll be in the comments looking and like, we appreciate all the information you've thrown at us. And hope you come back. Subscribe if you haven't. It really helps us out, helps us grow, and kind of keep this thing going. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Peace.